Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Thursday, September 6th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's baseball games, look ahead to tonight's games. Only 4 baseball games on tonight, which is curious, but the big story is obviously the NFL beginning tonight. I'll make my pick for tonight's game at the end of the podcast. I'll also talk about the U.S. Open and do my bull predictions prior to week 2 of the college football season. Baseball yesterday, some interesting results around the board. The Red Sox with a big comeback win, 9-8 over Atlanta. Atlanta had a 7-1 lead. Boston came back to take the lead, or at least to tie it at 7 apiece. Atlanta goes ahead on a Freddie Freeman home run. Boston takes the lead on a home run by Brandon Phillips. Remember him, the former Cincinnati Reds second baseman? He hit the go-ahead home run off of the pitcher that got charged with the loss, A.J. Minter. Boston improves to 97-44. Atlanta drops to 76-63. Brandon Workman improves to 4-0. Minter drops to 4-3. Craig Kimbrell gets his 38th save of the year. The Indians defeated the Royals 3-1 as they improved to 79-60. KC drops to 46-93. Corey Kluber improves to 18-7. Brad Keller drops to 7-6. Brad Hand gets his 8th save of the year. The Cardinals defeated the Nationals 7-6 as they improved to 78-62. Washington drops to 69-71. Miles Mikolas improves to 14-4. Tanner Roark drops to 8-15. Carlos Martinez gets his first save of the year. The Pirates defeated the Reds 3-2 as they improved to 69-71. The Reds dropped to 59-81. Jamison Taillon improves to 12-9. Homer Bailey drops to 1-14. Felipe Vasquez gets his 30th save of the year. The Blue Jays defeated the Rays 10-3 as they improve to 63-76. Tampa Bay drops to 75-64. Aaron Sanchez improves to 4-5. Tyler Glasnow drops to 0-3. The Marlins defeated the Phillies 2-1 as they improve to 56-84. The Phils dropped to 73-66. Sandy Alcantara improves to 2-0. Nick Pivetta drops to 7-11. Drew Steckenrider gets his 4th save of the year. The Mets defeated the Dodgers 7-3 as they improved to 63-76. The Dodgers dropped to 76-64. Zach Wheeler improves to 10-7. Hagen Ryu drops to 4-2. The Cubs defeated the Brewers 6-4. Good bounce back win for them as they improved to 82-57. The Brewers dropped to 79-62. Jose Quintana improves to 12-9. Julius Chacin drops to 14-6. Pedro Strop gets his 12th save on the season. The Angels defeated the Rangers 9-3 as they improved to 68-72. Texas drops to 61-79. Jaime Barria improves to 10-8. Bartolo Colon drops to 7-12. I have to get the Shohei Ohtani at some point in this podcast if I don't forget. The Tigers defeated the White Sox 10-2 as they improved to 57-83. Chicago drops to 56-84. Jordan Zimmerman improves to 7-6. Michael Kopech drops to 1-1. The Astros defeated the Twins 9-1 as they improved to 87-53. Minnesota drops to 63-76. Valder Valdez improves to 3-1. Jake Odorizzi drops to 5-10. The Rockies defeated the Giants 5-3. Big story of this game, Trevor Story, 3 home runs. Unbelievable. As the Rockies improved to 77-62, the Giants dropped to 68-73. Harrison Musgrave improves to 2-3. Andrew Suarez drops to 6-10. Adam Ottavino gets his 6th save of the year. The A's defeated the Yankees 8-2 as they improved to 84-57. The Yanks dropped to 87-53. Mike Fiers improves to 11-6 on the year. Luis Severino drops to 17-7. The Mariners defeated the Orioles 5-2 as they improved to 78-62. Baltimore drops to 41-99. Mike Leake improves to 9-9. Andrew Cashner drops to 4-14. Edwin Diaz gets his 53rd save on the season. 4 games on the slate tonight. 6:40 Padres Reds. Eric Lauer and Luis Castillo. 7 o'clock Cubs Nationals. Kyle Hendricks and Steven Strasburg. Indians Blue Jays. Shane Bieber and Sam Gaviglio. 9:30 Braves Diamondbacks. That's a good game. Anibal Sanchez and Zach Greinke. I mentioned it a couple minutes ago. Shohei Ohtani needs Tommy John surgery. Despite that, he played last night and hit 2 home runs, making an interesting case for American League Rookie of the Year. if he indeed gets Tommy John surgery, that would be a huge loss for the Angels, a big setback for that franchise. And if that's the case, he might have to consider trading Mike Trout because that team is going nowhere if Ohtani isn't healthy now or going into next season. And even with those two guys, they have not that much talent around them, especially on the pitching side of things. So the Angels are looking at an offseason where they might have to make some significant changes. I know Mike Scioscia is probably not returning as manager. I think that is to be determined, or I should say already determined. And now this Ohtani news comes up. It's sad for baseball, too, because he was such a joy to watch. When he was playing well, he was the runaway favorite for American League Rookie of the Year. Then he gets hurt. Then Gleyber Torres becomes the runaway favorite for American League Rookie of the Year. And then he gets hurt. And then he struggles after he comes back. Torres has actually played a little bit better of late for the Yanks. Miguel Andujar, to me, is the favorite for the award. He has a ton of extra base hits as a rookie, although his defense at third base is suspect, and that might cost him the AL Rookie of the Year award alone. So that's your case for either Gleyber Torres or Shohei Ohtani, the fact that Andujar is not a good defensive third baseman. Your case against Ohtani is that he's been hurt so much, and your case against Torres is that he was on the disabled list for a while. At gunpoint, I do think that Gleyber Torres might end up winning this award because I think he's poised for a big September, and I think people are going to look at Andujar's defensive metrics and say that he's a liability at third base, which he is, and Shohei Ohtani's just been hurt so much this season, although he's probably the best talent of those three players. U.S. Open. Some good matches going on. Let's start with the men's. Keane Shorkey defeated Marin Cilic. And Novak Djokovic defeated John Millman. And on Friday, I'll pick these matchups. You have Rafael Nadal against Juan Martín del Potro and Keane Shorkey against Novak Djokovic. Women's side, Naomi Osaka defeated Lisa Tarasenko as she advances. Madison Keys defeats Carla Suarez Navarro as she advances. Tonight, you have Serena Williams against Anastasia Sevastova. Give me Serena. She is the GOAT of women's tennis. And I think she's been amazing since she's come back from maternity leave. And then Madison Keys against Naomi Osaka. Give me Madison Keys to face off against Serena in the women's final, which will take place on Saturday, I believe. And I'll pick the men's matchups on tomorrow's podcast. All right. Bowl projections as we head into week 2 of the college season. College football playoff. No changes here. 1-seeded Alabama against 4-seeded Georgia in the Cotton Bowl. And in the Orange Bowl, 2-seeded Clemson against 3-seeded Penn State. Rest of the New Year's 6 in the Peach Bowl, I have Notre Dame against Ohio State. Fiesta Bowl, Boise State against Virginia Tech. So that's where I made my change. The Rose Bowl, I have Washington against Wisconsin. Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma against Mississippi State. I actually typed in Auburn on the list, but I messed up there. I just typed in the wrong team. Other bowl games. The New Mexico Bowl, I have Middle Tennessee against Wyoming. Cure Bowl, Houston against Appalachian State. Las Vegas Bowl, Colorado against San Diego State. Camellia Bowl, Northern Illinois against Georgia Southern. New Orleans Bowl, UL Monroe against Western Kentucky. Boca Raton Bowl, FAU against Cincinnati, so I made a change there, inserting Cincinnati. The Frisco Bowl, Tulane against Southern Miss. The Grispilla Bowl, Memphis against Florida State. Bahamas Bowl, North Texas against Buffalo. The Idaho Potato Bowl, I have Toledo against Utah State. The Birmingham Bowl, UCF against Vanderbilt. The Armed Forces Bowl, Army against South Florida. Dollar General Bowl, Ohio against Arkansas State. Hawaii Bowl, Louisiana Tech against Hawaii. Hawaii's off to a great start. It looks like they'll be heading to a bowl game. First Responder Bowl, Indiana against UAB. The Quick Lane Bowl, Louisville against Maryland. So Maryland's a new team inserted with their win over Texas and have some favorable games down the stretch. The Cheez-It Bowl, Iowa State against Stanford. Independence Bowl, North Carolina against Washington State. Pinstripe Bowl, North Carolina State against Nebraska. The Texas Bowl, West Virginia against Missouri. Music City Bowl, South Carolina against Northwestern. Camping World Bowl, Miami, so there's a change, against TCU. The Alamo Bowl, Oklahoma State against Utah. Belk Bowl, Duke versus Kentucky. Arizona Bowl, Troy versus Nevada. Military Bowl, Wake Forest against Navy. The Hyundai Sun Bowl, Boston College against USC. San Francisco Bowl, Minnesota against Arizona, so I shuffled around the Pac-12 teams a little bit. The Liberty Bowl, Texas against Texas A&M. Holiday Bowl, Michigan State against Oregon. Gator Bowl, Florida versus Virginia. Outback Bowl, LSU against Iowa, so I switched the two SEC schools. The Citrus Bowl, Auburn versus Michigan. All right, that is your bowl projections. And now, week 1 begins tonight. Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles. This should be a fun opening game between these two solid teams. As we know, this is a rematch of last year's NFC divisional round game when Julio Jones pretty much fell and dropped the pass in the end zone, which cost Atlanta a trip to the NFC title game. And the Falcons had offensive issues last year under Steve Sarkisian. They look to improve on that in Sarkisian's second season as offensive coordinator. The Eagles, on the other side, are looking to avoid that Super Bowl hangover that teams tend to have early in the season, as we saw with New England last year, and we saw it a few years back with Denver, although Denver ended up missing the playoffs, and then even New England when they won in the 2014-15 season and in the 2015 season after the whole Deflategate debacle. You saw a little bit there as well. Alshon Jeffrey is out tonight, and of course Wentz is out tonight, so Nick Foles is starting. So give me Matt Ryan in the Atlanta Falcons to kick off the season with a road victory at the Link. Atlanta 20, Philadelphia 17. My gambling pick in this game is +1. And it actually bet down to a half point, which you never see. I think by kickoff, Atlanta's going to be a 1-point favorite. I'm just going to call it right now. And I think the headline of this game, which is something new I'm going to do, is Ryan leads Falcons to opening night win as Foles struggles. That's what I think will be the story of the game. I think Foles' preseason struggles will carry over a little bit as the Eagles will suffer a little bit of a hangover with a bunch of their guys not healthy, and Atlanta poised to make a run after a disappointing finish to their season a year ago. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow with the rest of my Week 1 picks, as well as my college picks. And I'll go over baseball, pick the semifinals for the men's side of the U.S. Open, and I'll discuss anything else that happens in the world of sports. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.